Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sparkcast Media episode number 8. I am your host, Austin Bradley, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Brian Sparkman.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, I'm pretty tired. It's a late night edition. We usually record during the daytime, but we're here. This is a grind.
Hey, did you catch that Toy Story game?
Nope.
Good. It was a good decision. Did you sleep in?
Yeah, I might try to wake up for the London game this week, though. I'll probably be able to.
Are they doing anything special with this one?
Hopefully another Toy Story one so I can catch that one this time.
What would be like a fun anime or like animation for you if they like did something like that again?
I don't know. I think anime style would be funny, even though I don't like anime really.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would be funny to see like Trevor Lawrence anime.
Mine would be a Marvel. Like if they did like a Marvel thing.
Yeah. I mean, that would be interesting. Trevor Lawrence as Thor.
I was thinking like the 5 minutes Hulk.
Yeah, but Trevor Lawrence has the long hair, though. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
So he would be Thor. Then you got Josh Allen. He could be Hawkeye.
Sure, you go Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's my favorite Avenger.
Really?
Yeah, he is, actually.
Thor's mine.
Yeah, you're basic.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty basic as is.
Well, you know what's not basic? The NBA. It's always changing. Always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Always being different. And, you know, we just talked about the Damian Lillard trade last week. And Jrue Holiday was traded to the Trailblazers. But now, Jrue Holiday has been traded to the Boston Celtics. And this is what the trade involves. The Celtics get Jrue Holiday. The Trailblazers get Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, a 2024 Golden State first, and a 2029 Boston unprotected first. So, what are your thoughts on Jrue Holiday now being part of the Celtics?
I feel like that was like really good for the Celtics to acquire Jrue Holiday. Like he's a really good two-way guard, really good defensively. I say he's one of the best defensive guards in the league. You have him, Smart. You know, they just lost Smart, so they just picked up Jrue Holiday. A little bit better offensively than Smart. Defensively, maybe they were about the same. I would say, honestly, it's just because Jrue Holiday's a little bit more size, but Marcus Smart has intensity and he won a depoy, so you can't count that out. But I feel like the Celtics kind of upgraded. They were just losing Smart, you know, getting Jrue Holiday, and you said they're looking forward, or they're looking to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon, right?
Yeah, the Blazers are looking to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon because they want to stick with their young guards. So Scoot, Anthony Simons.
Yeah, the Trailblazers are just wheeling and dealing at this rate, and like they're just getting draft picks, and that's exactly what the Thunder were doing at one point.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think the smart way to do it is like, you know, you make trades, get other pieces that you can trade, and then continue to just trade until you finally have a pretty decent team.
Yep. And they're doing a hell of a job right now doing it. I feel like you're getting a lot of draft picks.
Well, and they're getting a lot of like young players with high upside. Like they got DeAndre Ayton from the Suns. Now they get Robert Williams from the Celtics. And I saw that they're looking to keep both of them.
Yeah.
And play them alongside of each other, which I don't know how well that's going to work out because neither one of them can really space the floor. I think Ayton is a little bit better at spacing.
Better chance with Ayton spacing the floor than Robert.
But he hasn't done it consistently in Phoenix, at least to like, you know, that level that you'd want.
Prove himself, yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting though because you have Robert Williams, who he's a defensive-minded big man, and then you have DeAndre Ayton, who's more offensive-minded. Having them both out there could work out.
I mean, do you think that little like gimmick right there is just like a little like nuggets like with Aaron Gordon and Jokic? But the difference, never mind. It's not because Jokic can spread the floor out. Yeah,
Jokic can spread the floor, and Aaron Gordon can score the basketball. You know, yeah. Robert Williams, not really a prolific scorer. I wouldn't even say DeAndre Ayton is.
No,
but
it's not like Aaron Gordon.
He's definitely more offensive minded than Robert Williams is. Which that's a big loss for the Celtics, though.
Yeah, it is.
I think. Now, you still have Al Horford there, who, even though I wanted them to not play him as much, he is like one of the top defenders of guys. Like, when they need someone to go in there and try to stop Giannis, it's Al Horford. When they need someone to go in there and try to stop Joel Embiid, it's Al Horford. So even though he's old, and we're definitely going to have to look at that in the future, probably within the next year or two, to replace Al Horford, right now I think it makes sense, especially to go out and get Jrue Holiday and help win now, especially with the Bucks in the East now with Damian Lillard.
And then, like, the Sixers are coming out saying, like, you know, you guys have forgotten about us. I mean, it's true. I think Harden just came back to practice and stuff like that, so they have Harden back. They have Tyrese Maxey. They have Embiid. You know, they're getting better. You know, I feel like you can't count out really the Sixers. They choke, but I mean, do you think they're going to choke this year? I don't like.
Yes.
I don't know, man. And Embiid, I feel like Embiid's going to have a really scary season.
I mean, he just won MVP last year and still choked in the second round.
He's young enough. He'll bounce back.
He's like 27, dude.
Yeah, he's primed.
Prime for a second round exit. That's all I got to say about that. And I don't think, I didn't see anything about Harden coming back. I'd be surprised if he's there all season, to be honest with you. I think they'd still trade him.
I don't know. What, this is his last year, right, on his contract? If I believe so. Because I know he has I know he has 1 or 2 years left, because I know he wanted out of Philly because he wanted to go to Houston. So I know he has, like, it's two less years, or it's two or less. I know it's that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think the Sixers are going to be a scary team this season.
If they keep James Harden, they'll be better than what I think they're going to be. But I don't think they're going to be able to keep James Harden. Even if they start the year with him and they start off slow or something, or James Harden's not happy with the minutes he's getting. Because that's the thing. With him being mad at the ownership, any small thing's going to be like, all right, I tried. It's over. Trade me. So, I don't think they keep James Harden, if at all. I don't think they keep him long into the year. But I have an updated list of all the trade pieces in the Damian Lillard trade. Now that Jrue Holiday goes from the Trailblazers to the Celtics. So the Bucks get Damian Lillard, obviously. The Celtics get Jrue Holiday. The Suns, they still have the same Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. And then the Blazers now have DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Tumami Kamara, Malcolm Brogdon, 3 2024 first-round picks, 2 2029 first-round picks, and then a 2028 and 2030 pick swaps with Milwaukee. So they got a lot of first-round picks, and Malcolm Brogdon's probably going to go for another first-round pick, or even more if they package him with something else. So, yeah, Blazers are, like you said, wheeling and dealing, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah, no, a couple years, like, give them like 5 years if they get Scoot's contract, you know. Yeah, 5 years is going to be a scary team. Maybe less than that, but I give it 5 years max.
Well, they've got to get rid of that Jeremy Grant contract. That was such a bad contract.
That's a really expensive contract. Yeah, like I don't, at that time, I guess, like, in their aspect, because I think they just went to the Western Conference Finals and stuff like that, lost to the Warriors.
No, they just gave him that contract this past offseason.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, no, never mind. They shouldn't have.
Yeah, they gave him a massive contract, and that was around the time when Damian Lillard was already asking out. They tried to keep him so that Damian Lillard would stay. But, yeah, they got to get rid of that contract, because that one, it's a bad contract, especially with how young the team is going to be. He's 29. He has a big contract. He's going to be going well into his 30s. Got to trade him.
I don't think any team wants that contract, though.
I think if there's a team that's trying to win now, they would. because he's a good player. Like if they need like, to be honest with you, I mean the Bucks.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. But the Bucks, because they already have Giannis, they already have Dame, they have Chris Middleton. They just need like a number 4 guy. I think like teams like that would be able to go for him and be interested. So how do you think, or what were you going to say?
I mean, I'm trying to think of a team that would like possibly could acquire Jeremy Grant and like, be, an actual like trade, like the Suns. Would you consider them?
I don't think their money would allow for it.
Clippers?
I could see the Clippers trying to get him, especially now that they got Russ back and they feel confident with Russ still being there. I could see it, but again, I don't know how the salary cap would work out and who you'd have to give up to be able to get that done.
Who would they take from the Clippers roster? Really? I mean, do they have
Bones?
Oh yeah, that'll be a good backup guard for Scoot.
Yeah, Bones Island, Zubac could take him, I guess. The Clippers don't really have anybody.
No, they don't.
Like, I mean, they have obviously Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but like young players, I mean, yeah, Bones, Bones and some firsts.
Yeah, why not?
For Jeremy Grant's big ass contract, he'll be in the luxury tax and he'll be paying a lot of money. I think it works out for both sides.
A lot of people were getting paid last year and this season.
Yeah, I mean, Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
Got a bag. Who else got an absurdly big contract?
Jalen Brunson got a bag.
Yeah, but not really, though. Because he got a front-loaded contract. So and he's only making around like $19 million, I think.
Oh, shoot.
Still a bag, but not a bag.
Yeah.
Not a Fred VanVleet special.
That was a lot.
Yeah, but it makes sense for the Rockets to do it because they don't have anybody on their roster that they need to pay, and you have to use like a certain amount of your salary cap every year, or else you just don't get it.
I was trying to see who else got the bag because I thought I had it in my notes, but it's whatever.
Yeah. How do you think the not just the Damian Lillard trade to the Bucks, because we kind of talked about it last week, but now the Jrue Holiday trade to the Celtics, how do you think that affects the East now? Because we both agreed that we still thought the Celtics were the best, and then they just got better. The only real thing right now that I see that the Celtics need is like a backup big man.
I think that it affects the East a lot, especially because they got Jrue Holiday, like what I said, one of the best two-way guards in the league. I mean, playing alongside with Jaylen Brown now, Jason Tatum. He talked about Al Horford, defensive-minded, big now. Porzingis, they just added him. I feel like that roster right there is kind of, the starting five's complete right there. It's honestly scary. I take them over the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Celtics fan, so obviously I take them over the Bucks. And you might have to tell me if you think this is biased, but I take the Celtics over every team in the East and almost every team in the West except for maybe the Nuggets
and the Lakers.
I'd still take them over the Lakers.
And the Suns?
Yeah.
I disagree with the Suns, Lakers, and I agree with the Nuggets.
You really think the Suns are going to be that good this year?
Yeah. And maybe the Warriors too.
I don't think the Suns they're going to be a disappointing team. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably win in the first round, but that second round I'm seeing them get bounced. That's a bold prediction or no?
That's bold.
You really think so?
Yeah.
All right. Put money on it because I said it and I'm always correct. Except for when I'm not, but I don't remember those times.
Yeah, I think that's pretty bold. I think that they go to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, if they get bounced in the second round, they get bounced by the Lakers or the Nuggets.
What if? No. What if? Okay. The Warriors bounce them.
I can see that too.
Okay. What about the Grizzlies?
Mm,
You were just talking the Grizzlies up last week.
I was. But that's tough, though. Because you have to think about matchups and stuff. I don't believe Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson can guard KD.
Jaren Jackson can guard him as best as anybody can in the league.
I disagree.
You're underselling Jaren Jackson Jr. then, because he is that good of a defender.
No, I'm not saying he's not.
No, okay, no one can guard KD, just like no one can guard Giannis. But Jaren Jackson Jr. can slow him down. He can do as best as anybody in the league.
I feel like he's too slow. He'd be too slow.
Yeah, but KD's coming off all those injuries now. It's not old KD, prime KD. It's old KD.
But he still has bag. Like, he still has, moves and stuff.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't. Like, it's still KD. He's still top 3 player in the world right now. But he doesn't have that quick step as he used to. Jaren Jackson Jr. could guard him. And John Morant, he's got either Bradley Beal or Devin Booker. And I think Desmond Bane can get whichever one they think is going to be less impactful.
I don't see it.
Hey, when they get bounced by the Grizzlies in the second round, just remember this. Episode 8. All right? Write it down. Episode 8.
I'll write it down in my head.
Okay. Any final thoughts on what's going on in the NBA? You have anything you'd like to add that we did not talk about yet here today?
No. I mean, media day.
Yeah,
it just
media
happened.
day. And Jimmy Butler. Obviously, you were talking about him. All right. We are back. Had to go take care of my cat. She was meowing. Now she's not in here anymore.
That sounds bad.
I didn't hurt her or nothing. She just likes to go outside. Yeah, Jimmy Butler, though. His hair.
Amazing.
Big fan of it?
Yes, amazing.
You gonna have your hair like that?
No,
Why?
because I can't pull it off like Jimmy.
I think you could pull it off.
No, I wouldn't want to try either.
I think you could pull it off, just like your hero, Jimmy Butler.
I can see you pulling it off. I think you're pulling it off right now a little bit.
That's disrespectful.
You should go a little longer. Cover your eyes.
No.
You ever thought about getting piercings?
No.
You should get like a lip piercing, nose piercing.
I would never get a lip piercing.
You look zesty, my boy.
I would never get a lip piercing. Maybe a nose piercing. Dude, you already have a nose piercing.
Yes, sir.
You should pull off the emo look like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I should get like a lip piercing. Get like a bullfrog piercing in my nose. That's why I call them bullfrogs. Because it kind of looks like a frog.
What are they actually called?
I have septum.
Oh, septum. Yeah. Yeah, you would get one of those, wouldn't you?
Uzi has one.
Yeah, you would get one of those, wouldn't you?
I'll consider it.
Well, I won't consider anything like that, and I don't consider the Miami Heat to be a threat in the East anymore.
We were last year.
Yeah, I said anymore.
My guy, you have the Lions going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's in the NFL. And when they're there, you're gonna be looking back on my very early overreaction predictions.
But honestly, with the NBA, I mean, there's nothing really to talk about right now. I mean, I know there's a lot of trades, but for me, it's kind of wrapped up.
All right, well, you know what else is wrapped up?
What?
Week 4 of the NFL.
Oh, thank God.
Is wrapped up. And the games that we had Thursday Night Football. The Lions, the team that's going to the Super Bowl this year, based off of my overreactions of Week 1, beating the Packers 34-20. Then, the Toy Story game. Jaguars beat the Falcons 23-7. Then, the Rams beat the Colts in overtime, but the Colts didn't even get a chance to score in overtime. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The Ravens beat the Browns 28-3. Falcons fans are shaking. The Vikings beat the Panthers 21-13. Titans 27-3 over the Bengals. Ooh. Buccaneers 26-9 over the Saints and a banged up Derek Carr. The Buffalo Bills did the impossible, and they beat the Miami Dolphins 48-20. The Broncos comeback win over the Bears 31-28. Commanders, Eagles in overtime. Eagles win it 34-31. Texans destroy the Steelers 36. Chargers 24-17 against the Raiders. Asante Samuel Jr. with the late game interception. Didn't take it back to the crib because Brandon Staley's a bad head coach. 49ers beat the Cardinals 35-16. It was a lot closer than that score. Cardinals are a sneaky team, but the 49ers are just a little bit better than them. Cowboys.
A little bit.
All right, I didn't mean to say, anything disparaging about your favorite team, okay? We'll get to that later on. The Cowboys are back 38-3 over the Patriots. Yeah, they're back in the win column, baby. Wonder what's going to happen on Sunday night against the 49ers.
49ers are going to win because we own the Cowboys.
Whoa. Predictions aren't until later, buddy.
We own the Cowboys.
Oh, no, hey. Predictions aren't until later.
You already know who I predicted.
Listen.
I think everyone who actually listens knows who I predicted because they know I'm a 49ers fan.
Predictions aren't until later, okay? Save them.
I'm not saving that one. That's me every week. 49ers win every week.
Chiefs beat the Jets 23-20. And then on Monday, the Manning cast was back and the Seattle Seahawks destroyed the Giants 24-3. So what are some of your big takeaways from week 4 of the NFL?
Mac Jones getting benched. I think it happened third, fourth quarter. Is he the Patriots' future?
Well, he's a starter for the rest of the year.
But is he the future next year, 2 years from now?
No. Mac Jones isn't that good. He's not going to be... He's like... he's like a Brock Purdy type of guy.
No.
And I'm...
No way. There's absolutely no way you just said that.
Because I think if Mac Jones has all the pieces around him and all the tools, he can win games. You can win games with Mac Jones. But with what we're seeing with the Patriots right now, they don't have the pieces around him. So Mac Jones isn't going to be the guy. So, yeah. He's not going to be the future because the Patriots aren't a good team. But he'll probably be a long tenured backup in the NFL for his career.
Why do you always take shots at Brock Purdy, bro?
Because he's not that good. It's also fun.
Dude, he's a winning quarterback.
Look, we don't have to go over this every single week.
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
You know exactly why he's winning. And we can just leave it at that. Do you have anything else you want to say from week 4?
I mean, you said it. Chiefs took down the Jets. Zach Wilson wasn't at fault this week.
Hey, Zach Wilson played very well. And I'll tell you what. During that game, Zach Wilson wasn't doing the normal Zach Wilson things. He was getting the ball out quickly. He was getting the ball to a place where only his guy could catch it. A lot of back shoulder throws. And they kept talking about it, on the broadcast. But when you watch it, it's true. He put it in positions where only his guy can make the catch and nobody else can make the catch. So, shout out to Zach Wilson. He did have the fumble at the end of the game that, ended up sealing it for the Chiefs to win. But Zach Wilson, I think this is something, if he continues to build on this, I think Jets fans are going to start feeling just a tiny bit better about their future. And, Zach Wilson has all the tools, and I do hope he succeeds and he becomes, very good.
And also, Zach Wilson, second pick in 2017 drafts.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago.
2020?
I think 2020, yeah.
Yeah. He still has high potential, still young, I it's unfortunate because I kind of wanted to see him sit underneath Aaron Rodgers for a year or two.
That would have been ideal.
Yeah, and it sucks, but Aaron Rodgers now, like, he's on the sideline. He probably comes to practice and it's like, hey, like, do this, do that, and it's probably best, honestly, thinking about it now, for Zach Wilson to be actually playing, and having one of the greatest quarterbacks, generational quarterbacks, teaching him along the way through the season. It's like, hey, this is your progressions, and stuff like that. I feel like that this is honestly the best case scenario for him.
We see what Zach Wilson did the past 2 years. Obviously, not good. But we also got to remember they had a new offense this year, the Nathaniel Hackett offense that he ran in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, and obviously with Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets, he was running there. So Zach Wilson didn't know it. In the first 3 weeks, week 1 he just gets thrown in there. I think he doesn't play bad, but he's not good. He does decent for, replacing a quarterback. Week 2 they had the Cowboys. Not much you could do there. And then week 3 he didn't play well. But now week 4 against a tough defense, Chiefs defense is very good. He started to play well. He's starting to get the hang of it. I think with Zach Wilson, we all just kind of remembered the past 2 years. We forgot that he's running a new offense, something he's not used to. So he wasn't in his comfort zone. But if he's going to continue to just keep building on this performance, getting better and better, and making those throws, like the back shoulder ones, where only his guy can get it, and not putting the ball in danger, the Jets could still make the playoffs this year.
I feel like any team right now there's besides possibly the Bears.
Bears aren't making the playoffs. They're not.
But I feel like it's open for really any NFL team right now. It's young. The season's still young. Like the Bengals, you can't really rule them out. They can flip. What if they flip the switch and their offense just becomes just out of the world? The highly chances of that with Joe Burrow's calf and everything is unlikely.
Yeah, they're not. I think this is going to be a wash year for the Bengals,
unfortunately,
because they continue to let Joe Burrow play with an injury. He's not playing to how he should be playing because he's obviously not wanting to get hit as much as... you never want to get hit. But now he's I feel like he's more paranoid about it, especially with the calf injury. And one or two things are going to happen. They're going to just keep playing Joe Burrow, and they're going to keep having these really bad performances because he's trying to, conserve himself from the offensive line not doing anything. Or Joe Burrow is unfortunately going to get injured, and they're going to have to go with another quarterback. When they could have just said, hey, Joe, sit out a couple weeks, and then come back when you're healthy.
Yep.
And then let's go for it.
Yeah.
But now I think they're even worse position than they would have been if they just did that.
Yeah, because yeah, because hell, they could have just won because I think they're 1-4, right?
1-3, yeah.
1-3, my bad. They would have been still sitting at the same record, maybe one game lower or higher, and you have Burrow coming back fully healthy. And then now they're playing him throughout this injury, and he's not gonna be healthy until later,
if at all. If he, because if he just keeps playing, maybe it just never heals until the off season.
Yep.
So that's on the Bengals right there.
Speaking of the Bengals, we're gonna talk about offenses. Start, bench, cut. Bengals, Steelers, Giants.
Their offenses from this year?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The Bengals have had real bad games.
Yep.
Real, very bad games. The Steelers, they haven't had a good game. The Giants, against the Cardinals, they did pretty good. They didn't do terribly against the Niners for, how good that defense is. And then, of course, we just saw the Seahawks. 11 sacks. So, I mean, it's really kind of a ranking, not really a start bench cut per se, even though, that's like kind of what everyone says. So I would, out of what I've seen so far this year, I would have the Giants still number one out of these three, and then the Bengals and the Steelers.
Mine is a little bit different. Mine is the Giants starting because they had a better game than the Bengals and Steelers, and then my bench is the Steelers, and my cut was the Bengals offense.
Have you seen how bad the Steelers are?
Yes, I have, but I also seen them have spurts on good spurts on offense.
I wouldn't call them good spurts, but they've had some things happen on offense. I don't know. I just think the Bengals overall have played better offensively than the Steelers, even though both suck. But also, maybe I'm just thinking Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, all those guys. But I still think their offense is better than the Steelers. And, I mean, I don't know, dude. The Bengals, I don't know what happened to them this year.
You think Burrow's injury is a big factor?
Oh, I think Burrow's injury is a big factor, and I also think that them not doing anything about the offensive line is a big factor as well.
Big factor right there was the offensive line.
Let me tell you something, as a Colts fan. If you do not fix that offensive line for your franchise quarterback's going to retire early. Because Andrew Luck just kept getting hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt, and eventually he said, you know what? I like football, but I also got a family, and I got other things that I care about more than getting hurt all the time. And he retired. And then we got, new head coach, new GM, fixed offensive lineup. Even though they looked rough last year, they're looking good this year. We got good pieces all along there, and now we've only allowed one sack all year through 4 games on Anthony Richardson. Now, Richardson helps with that a little bit, but we also had Gardner Minshew playing a full game, against the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So, something to be conscious of if you're the Bengals. Honestly, I think if the Bengals are bad this year, they gotta trade T. Higgins. Yeah. You can't pay 2 wide receivers number 1 wide receiver money.
Yeah, no, I full-fledged agree, and I'm surprised that they didn't do good while having T. Higgins. Now is he? He's out for the season, right?
No, he's not out for the season.
No, okay.
He's just he was hurt, and then he tried to play the game against Tennessee, and then left the game early because he had tightness.
Yes.
And then we'll get into it more later, but he ended up having fractured rib.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. But yeah, I fully agree. I mean, I'd rather pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Well, you also have that connection with him and Burrow already.
Yeah.
But you trade T. Higgins to a team like Carolina, who needs a number 1 wide receiver, and you try to get Ike Ekwonu at tackle or something, along with.
I think they have a good guard.
Well, yeah, but Ekwonu's a young tackle who he's good too. They need tackles, they need guard, they need center. They take what they can get, and I'd say a young player is better than
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, you can if you're the Bengals and there's an offensive lineman in free agency that's older, you can afford to pay him because you're the Bengals and you have Joe Burrow. But you also have to think about the future of the team. You just paid Joe Burrow big money. You're gonna pay Jamar Chase big money if they haven't already. I can't remember if they paid him already.
I don't think they paid him yet.
So you're gonna pay Jamar Chase big money, and he's gonna be competing with Justin Jefferson for number 1 wide receiver money in the NFL. So, you definitely could go out and get some offensive linemen, but it's already too late. We're already 4 weeks in. The offensive linemen that aren't on a team probably not conditioned right now to come in and start. So, yeah, I mean, you suck this year. Trade T. Higgins. Get a young offensive lineman. Go to the draft. Offensive line focus. The offensive line in this year's draft is stacked. It's deep. It's a very good class for offensive linemen. So, I think the Bengals can turn it around next year if they don't figure out a way to turn it around this year. So, yeah. It's got to get better.
All right. My next one I have, we have 2 comebacks this week.
Yep.
We have the Broncos coming back against the Bears, 28-7. The Bears taking a complete dump in the second half. Will the Bears have a successful season with Justin Fields? I mean, he played lights out in the first half. We seen it.
No, they won't. And it's not Justin Fields' fault necessarily. It's that coaching staff's fault. The coaching staff is not good. They need a complete reset, and this year's going to be bad for the Bears. And if they're in position, which they currently are, to get Caleb Williams, they're going to have a new coaching staff. They're going to trade Justin Fields to Falcons. Falcons could use him. And they're going to be like, you know what? We're starting fresh, new coaching staff, new quarterback, probably new GM as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have DJ Moore, monster. They're not going to have Chase Claypool for long. They're probably going to trade him here soon. Darnell Mooney, I think, is really good.
There's also talks of them getting top picks, and I saw something possibility of them getting Marvin Harrison.
They're currently projected, because they have the Panthers pick this year as well. They're currently projected to have number 1 and number 2 pick. So they could go Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., 1 and 2. But I would say you go Caleb Williams, number 1, and then probably offensive tackle, Olu Fashanu, number 2, just because those are the 2 most important positions on a team on the offensive side. Pass protector and the passer.
Mm-hmm.
They already have DJ Moore. They could use... I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a freak. They could use him. But the wide receiver is deep. This class is deep. So I don't think you go there. You get your quarterback of the future and your offensive tackle of the future if you're in that position. But I think, like you said, Justin Fields, very good first half. Very good game overall, actually. He didn't really play bad. I mean, down the stretch, it looked a little rough. But
in that fourth quarter and overtime, he looked kind of bad. I can't really blame that fumble really on him. He was trying to get the ball out, and it happens. Fumble. But in that overtime, the Broncos got 3, and then I think a couple plays into the drive, Justin Fields threw a pick. The tight end wasn't looking at the time or whatever, but it was when you watch it, it's you can't really blame the tight end because he wasn't really looking looking at the quarterback or anything like that. Justin Fields just threw a ball to the defense, basically.
They didn't go to overtime.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
The Broncos and
the Broncos came back within the fourth quarter. Yeah, they didn't go to overtime.
Oh, my bad.
Denver scored 17 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, I was talking about your team. I'm sorry.
No,
went in overtime. I was talking about in the fourth quarter what happened in the fourth quarter. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I was just making that correction. No, I mean, I don't think Justin Fields played bad at all. He did have the one interception that you said, but 28 of 35 for 335 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. He also had 25 yards rushing. He made good decisions. He played well. He did have the pick, that at the end, which obviously is unfortunate, but it's the same thing with Zach Wilson. It's how much are you going to blame Zach Wilson for that loss for the Jets? But even he had the final play, the fumble that lost him the game.
The past 2 possessions the Chicago had fumble, pick.
I mean,
both drew Justin Fields.
Yeah, but then also you have the play where the center snapped the ball early, and the tackles didn't block, so unblocked off the edge, both sides.
Yeah.
Justin Fields still gets the ball off to DJ Moore for a first. Pretty sure it was a first. So he had bad plays and he had really good plays.
Mm-hmm.
So how much really are you going to blame him for that loss? The defense is the one that allowed the 31 points.
Yeah.
17 of them in the fourth. You don't pay, big money on the defense to get they signed Tremaine Edmonds. Obviously, he's a linebacker. He's not the only guy playing out there, but you don't pay the money.
But
to the defense to let them give up.
They didn't score.
Points.
I don't think they scored in the second half. Did they? Unless they scored in the third quarter.
They scored in the third quarter.
Yeah, but besides that, I mean, they needed to punch that ball in one more time, and they had opportunities. I think also, I mean, you said earlier with the coaching's terrible because I think they're at one rate. It was on fourth down, and they could have kicked the field goal.
Yep.
Yeah, they could have kicked the field goal because right before the Broncos got a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
They could have kicked the field goal.
And they didn't.
Because they went
and
for
they
it.
lost by a field goal.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame Justin Fields for that loss. Now, he's probably not going to be a Chicago Bear next year. He's going to be traded. They're going to have a new quarterback in there. Unless they turn it on and they end up winning 5, 6, 7 games, which is unlikely, but it could happen, then they're going to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
And I don't know. I like Justin Fields, but it just sucks what happened this year. That's what's happening.
I like Justin Fields. I think he's going to be successful in his next place as long as it's a place with a competent, coaching staff and decent weapons around him. Because Justin Fields is a weapon himself too. He had over 1,000 yards of rushing last year. He has the ability to, make plays happen when nothing's happening. That's why I think Atlanta would be the best place for him. Because they're not doing the greatest with Desmond Ridder. They started off hot. But they got Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson and Justin Fields in the same backfield? Are you kidding me?
That'd be nasty.
It would be damn near unstoppable. Plus, you got Drake London at wide receiver. You got Kyle Pitts at tight end. That team is just going to be...
And their offensive line's not bad.
Their offensive line is good. And their defense, pretty good.
Yeah.
So, I think if I'm the Falcons, I'm trying to do it this year. I'm trying to call up Chicago, hey, you guys suck. We suck too, but we're better than you are. How about we give you Desmond Ridder, and you give us Justin Fields, and we'll also throw in XX and another pick.
Yeah.
So, if I'm the Falcons, I'm trying to do that this year. I'm not gonna lie.
And another game that was a comeback was the Colts and the Rams.
Yep, Colts and Rams.
It was almost a comeback, I should say. Almost.
It
still looked impressive.
It was a comeback. They came back, and they tied the game up. And then, going to overtime, Rams get the ball first. Rams score a touchdown. Game over.
Yeah, they fell short from a comeback. A comeback is like a win. Like, you have to win order to call it comeback.
We're gonna leave it at that, because we have more to talk about later on with that. But they came all the way back.
I mean, you have more to talk about.
They came all the way back, down 23-0, halfway through the third quarter, and they said, boom, 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 boom. Anthony Richardson said, boom, 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 boom. 23-23. Overtime, Rams get the ball first, score a touchdown, game over. And let's continue on, because we'll be revisiting this.
That's all I have. I mean, I would love to talk about the game. I mean, no, I'm not trying to shit on your team or anything. If you think I am,
I don't trust you.
I'm not trying to shit on your team. I know you like to shit on Brock Purdy and I can't really say like the 49ers.
I don't shit on the 49ers.
But you shit on Brock Purdy.
Yeah, because he deserves it.
I'm not gonna backlash and shit on your team.
Hey, my team's looking pretty good though, huh?
Yeah, it does.
No one expected us to be 2-2.
You guys look impressive.
Look explosive.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthony Richardson looks like a guy. Looks like a guy. Him and CJ Stroud both. We're gonna get to that actually right here coming up. So we are gonna be talking about the best rookies through the first 4 weeks. The first really quarter, even though they added an extra game. The first quarter of the year. But first, let's talk about some players of the month for the month of September. AFC Offensive Player of the Month, Tua Tagovailoa.
Not surprising.
Not surprising at all. He's been very good. AFC Defensive Player of the Month, not a surprise here. Also, TJ Watt. Not surprising.
Not surprising.
AFC Special Teams Player of the Month, Tyler Bass.
Okay.
Good kicker. Gotta show the kicker some love, remember?
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the NFC. NFC Offensive Player of the Month for September, Christian McCaffrey.
Beast.
He had an incredible month, and he started off October really nicely as well. Then, yeah, because they play it Sunday, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah. He started October off very nicely as well. The NFC Defensive Player of the Month, Micah Parsons. Deserved.
Yeah.
Deserved.
You talked about the whole month.
Yeah. The whole month played very well. Obviously, the game against the Cardinals, I'm going to forget about that one. But he still played individually pretty good that game. And then, NFC Special Teams Player of the Month, Jake Camarda, the punter from the Buccaneers. I think he's on the Buccaneers. He won a Player of the Week. We talked about him, and you said you never heard of him before. Remember the name. Jake Camarda.
I probably still forget.
Oh, you're not. You're going to remember Jake Camarda. And we also have the Rookies of the Month for September. Offensive Rookie of the Month, CJ Stroud.
Not surprising at all. It was between him and Anthony Richardson.
Or Bijan.
Yep.
Yeah, CJ Stroud played very well in September. Played very well starting in October as well. So he looks very impressive. Defensive Player of the Month, Christian Gonzalez. We talked about him a lot last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, deserved there as well. Now, I do have a whole list here of rookies. The best, like I said, the best through the first 4 weeks, the first quarter of the year. But before I go through the list and go through some stats, who's been your favorite rookie personally this year so far?
CJ Stroud has been my favorite to watch. Bijan too, obviously. Anthony Richardson. But Jalen Carter. I feel like he's when I watched the Eagles game the other night just to watch like a rookie defensive lineman make an impact in a game. It's honestly like it's rare because usually like it's a couple years and then they have their turn, to make an impact in a game because how like the trenches are, and everything like that. He's making an impact his first year through the trenches. And he's right next to Fletcher Cox, and also Brandon Graham. So, I feel like Jalen Carter is my favorite.
No, all very solid, all on my list. So let's start off here. We're gonna start with the quarterback position. Now I got a question for you. There's only been 6 players in the history of the NFL to average 300 pass yards and have zero interceptions through their first 4 games in a season. Do you know who they are?
The first 4?
They're 6.
Or 6?
Their first 4 games, 300 yards, 0 interceptions per game.
CJ Stroud, one of them?
He is the 6th player.
Let's see.
I'll give you a hint. They're all very prominent names.
Andrew Luck.
Nope.
Russell Wilson.
Nope. Think more prominent.
Tua.
No, not prominent now. Prominent in history.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady did it twice.
And Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning was the first person to ever do it.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers was the most recent before CJ Stroud.
That's 1, 2, 3. That's 4, so 2 more. Yeah, I give up. I give up the last 2.
Patrick Mahomes did it 2018, 2019, back-to-back years.
Okay.
And Drew Brees, 2018.
Drew Brees. Okay.
So, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud. That's a hell of a list to be on.
It is. A great list.
Now, can you tell me the only quarterback in the history of the NFL in the Super Bowl era with a rushing touchdown in each of his first 3 games? Because this person missed 1 game of their year so far.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson, only quarterback in the Super Bowl era to have a rushing touchdown in each of his first 3 games. Now, through the first 3 starts, all right, I have some stats here. It's going to get a little complicated, I think. Peyton Manning, rookie year with the Colts. Passer rating was 49. Completion percentage 54.8. Yards, he did have 683 yards. Pretty impressive. Passing touchdowns 2. Interceptions 8. Rushing yards 26 for Peyton Manning. Record was 0-3. Andrew Luck, his first 3 games, his rookie year with the Colts. 75.4 rating. 53.3% completion percentage. 846 passing yards. Very good. 5 touchdowns to 4 picks. 80 rushing yards. 0 rushing touchdowns. And a record of 1-2. Now we're going to go away from Colts quarterbacks real quick. Josh Allen. A man who has been used this comparison for the guy I'm about to praise here. Passer rating for his first 3 games of his rookie year. 65.2. Completion percentage was 55.7. Yards, 592. 2 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 90 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, record of 1-2. Now it's the man of the hour, Anthony Richardson. He has the best passer rating out of all of them. 79.6 through his first 3 games of his NFL career. He has the best completion percentage out of all of them, 57.9%. Now, yards, he has the least amount of passing yards, 479, and he is second in passing touchdowns with 3, only behind Andrew Luck. He only has 1 interception. All the other ones have had at least 4. Peyton Manning had 8. Rushing yards, 131 rushing yards through his first 3 games, and 4 rushing touchdowns, record of 1-2. Anthony Richardson is the best in each key stat except for passing yards and passing touchdowns. But passing touchdowns, he's only behind Andrew Luck. How do you feel about that?
I don't really feel much. I'm not a Colts fan or.
No, but how do you feel about hearing that?
I mean, it's promising. I like that. You like to hear that from a young guy. It's very promising. You know, you hope to see if he like, you know, finishes out like that.
Now the next question I have for you is, who do you think the top 4 quarterbacks are against with the highest passer rating versus man coverage?
Top 4 right now.
Top 4 this year.
And man
versus man coverage, best passer rating. You have 4 guesses, 1 for each slot.
Mahomes.
Mahomes is not on there.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud is on there.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is not on there.
Tua.
Tua's not on there. Number 4, Josh Allen, 125.9 passer rating versus man coverage. Number 3 is Kirk Cousins, 127.1 passer rating versus man coverage. Number 2, Anthony Richardson, 135.4 passer rating versus man coverage. Number 1, CJ Stroud, with 139.4 passer rating versus man coverage. So the best 2 quarterbacks this year through 4 games against man coverage, CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson.
That's nice. I mean, that's very promising.
That is.
Like rookies. That's actually. That had never happened before.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this is the only time I can think where 2 rookie quarterbacks has come in and just been, right off the gate, really good since Andrew Luck and RG3.
I mean, I don't even think they had that,
They didn't have this good of a start.
No, they didn't.
But, throughout the whole year, they both very good. We have to see how it measures up. But then there's after facing the Colts this past week, Matthew Stafford said, quote, "Holy shit, the sky's the limit," when talking about Anthony Richardson. So, yeah, Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud are on my list of the best rookies through 4 weeks of the NFL. We don't have to talk about anyone who's not on the list, but how do you take this, seeing that 2 quarterbacks that were passed on at number 1 doing this, and not just this, but rookie quarterbacks don't do this well at the beginning. Trevor Lawrence struggled. CJ Stroud's making it look easy. Anthony Richardson, he's had his moments where he struggled, but he's making it look easy too.
Coming in the draft, I never really was high on Bryce Young, really.
No, I mean, I wasn't. I had CJ Stroud over him.
Yeah.
In the rankings, and I like the upside of Anthony Richardson, but I bought into what everyone said about Richardson pre-draft. Everyone said he's not accurate. He needs more time. But from what I've been seeing, he is accurate. He throws the ball on a rope, and not just on a rope, but fast. He has a strong arm. And on top of the athleticism and the ability to rush and get rushing touchdowns, oh my.
He just loves sucking his dick.
Well, I don't do that. I'm not over here calling him a top 3 quarterback like somebody did about Brock Purdy.
Hey, Brock Purdy's top 3.
All right, let's move on to the running back portion of the rookies that deserve some love. Devon Achane. He's currently averaging the most yards per carry in the entire NFL with 11.4 yards per carry. Every single time he carries the ball, he's averaging a first down and more. He has more total touchdowns than any running back taken in the draft before him. He has the 6th most rushing yards in the league, despite missing, 2 games?
Yeah, 2 games.
2 games? And he's also the fastest player recorded yet this season at 21.93 miles per hour.
Faster than Tyreek.
5 running backs were taken ahead of him, and he has played the best. But that's statistics-wise as well. You can have your own opinion. Obviously, we've been talking about Bijan Robinson. He has more rushing yards this year than Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. More receptions than Christian McCaffrey and DeAndre Swift with 19. More runs of 10-plus yards than every running back except for Christian McCaffrey. He has 11 of 10-plus. And many people thought he could be the next Marshall Faulk leading into the draft. And looks like it's working out for him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those are my only 2 running backs I have on here so far. We've seen flashes from other guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, show him some love. But in terms of, being on the list, you got to be the next level good. And those 2, they've been next level good.
They have, especially Devon
A-Chain.
No, it's not A-Chain.
Yeah, it is.
No, they corrected it.
No, Devon A-Chain.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's like Atchin.
A-Chain.
It's Atchin.
Anyway.
Because like I was watching Red Zone and like literally the guy was like oh Devon Atchin corrected us because we were saying his name wrong the whole entire week last week. It's actually Devon Atchin or something like that. It's not A-Chain. It's not.
I'll look into it.
No, literally like it's not. I promise you.
I'll look into it. Let's continue.
It's Atchin.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the fucking running backs?
They're phenomenal.
Gosh. All right, moving on then, I guess. Wide receivers.
He doesn't like to get corrected, I guess.
No, I just tried to move on multiple times, and you just kept bringing it back.
Yes, sir.
Wide receivers. Puka Nacua is currently outpacing the 2 best receiving yard seasons in NFL history through his first 4 games. In 2012, Calvin Johnson, to his first 4 games, had 423 yards. Monster year for a monster receiver. In 2021, Cooper Kupp had 431 yards to his first 4 games. Obviously, the Triple Crown winner. He led the league in receptions, yards, and receiving touchdowns. And this year, Puka Nacua, through his first 4 games, has 501 receiving yards. Now, do you know what all those wide receivers had in common?
Matthew Stafford.
They all had Matthew Stafford as their quarterback. And I said it, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we did our podcast, I said Matt Stafford produces elite quarterbacks. And I'll just leave it at that. I was cooking.
Wide receivers.
All right, elite wide receivers, my bad. I was cooking this up. I was cooking it up. I said, I'll leave it at that. I was cooking. That's a callback. Moving on. Tank Dell, 69th overall pick. Nice. 267 receiving yards. That's 20th in the NFL. Zay Flowers, the 22nd overall pick. 244 receiving yards. 28th in the NFL. Marvin Mims for the Denver Broncos. Remember that team? The team that got 70 scored on them? He has 242 receiving yards, and he was a 63rd pick in the NFL draft. And then Michael Wilson, 237 receiving yards. Only one wide receiver that was drafted in the first round has over 200 yards this year, and that was Zay Flowers. No other wide receiver has done it. Any thoughts on wide receivers?
To be honest, besides Zay Flowers, I haven't really heard of much wide receivers rookie-wise.
Puka?
I mean, yeah, Puka.
Tank Dell?
Yeah, I've been hearing a little bit of Tank Dell.
Yeah, Marvin Mims and Michael Wilson, they've been sleepers. Well, Marvin Mims is on the Broncos, so you can't really say anything about that. Well, I mean, if you don't have much to comment on, I'm sure you have even less to comment on the next one, the offensive lineman.
Oh, a lot less to comment.
So the only rookie offensive lineman to play at least 100 snaps and not allow a sack this year, DeJuan Jones. He was the 111th overall pick in the draft. He has played 154 pass blocking snaps. 0 sacks allowed. Osiris Torrance, the 59th overall pick, has played 161 pass blocking snaps. No sacks allowed. Jarrett Patterson, the 201st overall pick, has played 182 pass blocking snaps with 0 sacks allowed. Every offensive lineman taken in the first round has either given up a sack or hasn't played 100 pass blocking snaps yet. What are your thoughts on that?
Sleepers. That's what I'm hearing. They're sleepers.
I'll tell you what, DeJuan Jones should have been picked higher. Jarrett Patterson should have been picked higher. They slipped. Don't know why. I wasn't really following too closely at that point. But Osiris Torrance was my number 1 interior offensive lineman on my board. He was 59th overall pick. People just don't value interior offensive line in the draft. So, he was a steal. Very, very good. Now this. I know you're excited about this one. The top rookie pass rushers through 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big defensive guy. Love that D.
Yes, sir.
Brian Brescia, number 5. He was a 29th overall pick. He has 10 pressures, 6 hurries, a sack and a half, and 2 QB hits. He's having a monster year. Number 4. You want to try and say this guy's name. Tuli Tuipulotu.
Tui Pelotu.
Oh, not too bad. 54th overall pick. He has 14 pressures, 6 hurries, 2 sacks, and 3 QB hits. Number 3, Will Anderson. 3rd overall pick, of course. Texas traded back up after the pick C.J. Stroud. Go up and get him. 13 pressures, 8 hurries, 1 sack, and 4 QB hits. Byron Young, the 77th overall pick. Number 2 on the list. 16 pressures, 8 hurries, 2 sacks, 5 QB hits. Number 1. Who you got?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, the 9th overall pick. 20 pressures, 16 hurries, 1.5 sacks, 2 QB hits, and 2 forced fumbles. Those are the top 5 pass rushers so far through the first 4 weeks of rookies.
And one of the fumbles he caused, it was a rush, and the running back or whatever went up like 5 yards, and he made the play from behind.
Hey, he's having a good year. Obviously falling to number 9, that sucks. But falling to the Eagles is probably a very good situation.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was like the best situation for him.
I mean, maybe if he's on a bad team, he'd be having better stats.
That's
not
true.
have to compete.
That's true.
Never know.
Imagine when the Commanders with Chase Young. That would be nasty.
Now, my final players I have here, I have 5 players. Defensive backs. Gotta show them some love. The back end of the defense. Number 5, Brian Branch, the 45th overall pick. 21 targets, 14 receptions allowed for 106 yards. Very good. 3 pass breakups, 1 interception, and a 90.6 passer rating allowed, 1 targeting him. Christian Gonzalez is at number 4. You might be surprised that, but he's at number 4. 24 targets, 16 receptions allowed for 157 yards, 2 pass breakups, 1 interception, and a 67.5 passer rating allowed when targeting him. Number 3, the 5th overall pick, Devin Witherspoon. 22 targets, 11 receptions allowed, 114 yards, 3 pass breakups, 1 interception, 61.6 pass rating allowed. Devin Witherspoon, you heard a lot about him?
Yeah, I have. I actually been here. What team does he play for?
Seahawks.
Oh,
Had a breakout game on Monday.
Yeah, I was about to say that's why I heard. Yeah.
Number 2 on the list, DJ Turner, 60th overall pick. 8 targets, 1 reception allowed for 4 yards, 39.6 passer rating allowed. Only has been targeted when he's been in coverage 8 times.
Really? Through 4 weeks? That's not bad for a rookie.
Through 4 weeks. You know what's even better, though? Through 4 weeks. Only being targeted 6 times and allowing 1 reception for 12 yards from Joey Porter Jr.
Deuce.
39.
I forgot about that guy.
39.6 passer rating allowed when targeting him. Joey Porter Jr. is a guy.
And he's in a best situation in Steelers defense.
Yeah, I mean the Steelers, they're going to be playing a lot of defense. So yeah. So any comments? Final comments on the rookies? Obviously, you got to show the rookies some love. I'm planning on doing look around the league every 4 weeks. Week 4, week 8, week 12, and probably not week 16, week 18. We'll see, finish up with the rookies. But, every 4 weeks, just having a little bit of a peek with the rookies. See how they're doing.
Okay.
How you feeling about my list, though?
I love your list. I feel like you hit it nailed it. Came in with the stats and everything.
Yeah, a lot of stats.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Too much time.
Well, this didn't take me any time at all. I just Googled it as I was talking, and I got the players of the week because I forgot to write them down. So, are you ready for the players of the week for week 4?
Yes.
The AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Mr. Josh Allen. The NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Mr. Christian McCaffrey.
Not surprised.
He's very good. The AFC Defensive Player of the Week. This kind of came out of nowhere during the game. Khalil Mack against his former team, the Raiders. He had 6 sacks.
What?
6 sacks in one game. He was tied for last with 0 sacks on the year. Comes in against the Raiders, 6 sacks. He's tied for first. Very deserving. NFC Defensive Player of the Year, a guy we just talked about, Devin Witherspoon against the New York Giants. He had 2 sacks and a pick 6 in that game. So, he's only the second NFL corner to ever do that, by the way. The other one to do it is Captain Moonerly in 2013 with the Carolina Panthers. AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, Brandon McManus, kicker from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, kicker Jake Elliott for the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, 54-yard game winner against the Commanders in a tough game. Very, very good week. So give us a breakdown of all the players of the week. What are your thoughts? All that
I
good
did
stuff.
not know about Khalil Mack getting 6 sacks.
You didn't know about that?
Mm-mm.
Well, you're welcome.
And I'm surprised Stephon Diggs didn't get Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, but Josh Allen was the one throwing it.
I get that, but also like receiver getting 3 touchdowns.
Oh, I think he definitely was in conversation to get it. But anytime you have like a quarterback and a receiver or a running back that, catches a lot of passes or whatever, it's usually going to go to the quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, like in this situation, I would have gave it to Stephon Diggs only because, like, I mean, Josh Allen has a better chance of winning Offensive Player of the Week later on compared to Stephon Diggs. But it is what it is. I just think that 3 touchdowns for a receiver, and he actually had a monster game. I just feel like he should have won Offensive Player of the Week. That's just my take because, I mean, yeah.
Well, I think that's a fair take. That's a fair take.
I mean, it's not like every week you see a wide receiver getting 3 touchdowns in a game. I mean, like I don't even think JJ has 3 touchdowns in a game, and they consider him being the best receiver in the league.
I don't.
I mean, opinions.
Yeah, you know who my number 1 receiver in the league is?
Stephon Diggs.
The same guy you just been talking about. Same guy on my fantasy team that's going to beat your fantasy team this week.
You're talking all this shit. I'm going to laugh when you lose.
I'm not going to lose. You know why? Because I got Deebo Samuel playing in this week.
Okay.
He did nothing last week. 0.6 points.
Yeah.
This week, though, they're facing the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be able to run it down their throat with Christian McCaffrey. They're going to be able to just focus on Brandon Ayuk. Deebo's going to get his. And Deebo is going to beat you by himself. And you're going to feel the pain as a 49ers fan.
Dude, I'm about to take a snippet of this, like, make a TikTok after I whoop your ass in fantasy and post, like, dude, it's about to be embarrassing.
It's going to be embarrassing for you because you're going to take the snippet of me saying this and then be becoming right. Just like our predictions.
Yep.
You know what the record is?
What is it?
3-0.
Congratulations.
I won 3 times. We've only done 3 predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it. Before we get to our predictions for week 5, we obviously have some injuries. Very sad part. We got to bring in a doctor. This man does not have a PhD in anything. I don't even think he's ever been to college. But he knows what he's talking about. Time to bring in our resident doctor, Dr. Spark.
Dude, I cannot wait for next week because when I whoop your ass in fantasy, all this shit talk is just gonna fizzle out. But with the injuries this week, you got Justin Herbert with a broken finger. You talked about it earlier. There was a pass that you said that it was like to seal the game, and he threw it with a broken finger. It was the middle finger, you said, and it was absolute dart. You said. Yeah. You want to explain?
Well, I just want to explain this. I did not say it on the podcast. I said it earlier today.
Yes.
We were having a discussion when he wouldn't leave me alone. But yeah, broken middle finger. Still slinging that thing around. Justin Herbert's a different kind of animal. He needs a better head coach.
T. Higgins, rib fracture.
That I did say on the podcast already.
Yes, you did. Matthew Judon, bicep surgery.
Bicep surgery.
He's going to miss some time.
Yeah, he's going to miss at least 2 months is what we've been seeing.
And then last but not least, Christian Gonzalez. We talked about him quite a bit in this podcast. He's going to be out for the season, and the Patriots picked up J.C. Jackson to replace.
That's true. They traded the Chargers for J.C. Jackson. We're not really too sure on the picks. We were having a discussion earlier.
I have this written down for this. Patriots pick up J.C. Jackson through trade for 2025 6th and 7th round picks.
See, and what I've seen is the Patriots give the Chargers a 2024 6th, but the Patriots get a 2025 7th back. So we're not too clear, and we'll probably figure that out.
It's probably 2024 or 2024 6th and then 2025 7th. Well, that's probably what it is.
We'll figure it out. Maybe they don't really put those out for the NFL like to do the NBA with like the whole breakdown with the graphics and everything, because NBA trades are usually massive. But either way, Patriots get J.C. Jackson. Obviously, very good for them in the past. Went to the Chargers and has not done anything. So, interesting to see. But obviously, hate to see Christian Gonzalez going out as a rookie.
Yes.
Out for a season. He's been playing very well. I had him on my list. He was on my list there.
All right, enough of this.
Enough of this,
because you've been talking shit this whole entire time. You know what's coming next.
I do know what's coming next. Another dub.
All right.
Hold on. Before we get there, Week 4 predictions. We had 12-4 for myself, 9-7 for Brian. He did better than he did the first 2 times, but it's still 3-0. So, as we continue along with our prediction battle, and I have all the winners right here. There's only 14 games this week, so there's no more 8-8, no more 9-7 for you. It's only 7-7 or 8-6 potentially. And then you know what it is for me? 14-0, 14-0 this week.
Dude, you're getting too confident, dog.
Dude, I have 3 games ahead of you, or not 3 games, but like 3 ahead of you in this.
You're literally reminding me of the Zoolander meme right now. That's how confident I feel like you're being.
You're just jealous. You wish you had 3 wins,
dude.
You know what? You have a chance. You do have a chance this week. I have some kind of crazy picks out there because I'm up 3. I've only missed 4 2 of the times and 2 the second time we did it to some crazy teams. I would have never picked the Cardinals to beat the Cowboys or the Texans to beat the Jaguars. Here this week, though, I got some crazy picks going out there. I'm not going to lie. But let's go ahead and start off here with Thursday night football. The Chicago Bears against the Washington Commanders. I'll go ahead and start off because I usually don't start off. I usually ask you. But since I'm the winner every week, I'll go ahead and start first. I got the Commanders beating the Bears on Thursday.
I have the Commanders also beating the Bears on Thursday with key guys being out with the Bears. Chase Claypool, Eddie Jackson, and Jalen Johnson.
All right, so they're missing, 2 safeties and a wide receiver who don't care.
A safety, corner, and a wide receiver who don't care.
My apologies.
You got 2 out of 3, right?
We're going on next. Jaguars against the Bills in London. Who do you got?
I got the Bills winning this one after last week's performance against the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. You know what I got? I got the Jaguars in London. I told you last week they're going to beat the Falcons in London. You said, I'm going with the Falcons. I was correct. Jaguars in London yet again, back-to-back weeks. I don't care if it's the Bills. I don't care who it is. They're getting a dub. Up next, Saints against the Patriots. I got the Saints going into Foxborough and beating the Patriots.
I have the same exact thing. Alvin Kamara, second game coming back.
Yep. On my fantasy team that's going to beat you this week as well. Up next, Titans against the Colts in Indianapolis. Who you got to win there?
I got the Titans beating the Colts.
Oh. You think you're funny, huh?
No.
Well, I got the Colts beating the Titans, just like it's always been and always will be. Fuck the Titans.
Yeah, I think D-Hop's going to be dunking all over your defense.
You know what's going to be dunked, though? The Ravens beating the Steelers this week. That's a dunk pick. That's a locked in.
Yeah, that's a lock in for me, too.
Locked in. No way you're missing that one. Panthers and Lions.
I feel like the Lions are also a lock on this one, too.
Well, I have to agree with you. I got the Lions winning. Then we got the Texans against the Falcons. You know what I'm doing.
I think you know where I'm going.
I'm picking the Texans to win.
I'm picking the Texans too.
Wow. You've been a Falcons guy this whole time.
I know I haven't, but I had to switch. CJ Stroud's playing lights out.
Yeah, I'm going to Texans to win. That's crazy that you picked them. Wait. I'm not going to Texans to win. I'm going the Falcons. That's all switcheroo on you. Falcons. You switched up on the Falcons? I didn't. Falcons going to beat the Texans this week, and that's going to be another win in the win column for
You better
me.
change that. You better write that.
Oh, it's already written.
Okay.
I did the all switcheroo on you. That was planned 100% of the time.
Bet.
You know what else is planned? The Dolphins beating the Giants this week.
That's a lock.
Yep. Locked in. Giants are bad. Dolphins aren't. Bengals, Cardinals, who you got?
I got the Bengals.
It's the Cardinals. Cardinals beating the Bengals this week. That's not an old switcheroo on you. I'm being 100%.
I know it's not.
100%.
I'm smiling for a different reason.
Cardinals beating the Bengals. We just talked about the Bengals. They're bad so far. And the Cardinals, they beat the fucking Cowboys. They hung in there with the Niners. The Bengals ain't none of them. The Bengals got beat by the Titans 27-3.
I know, but expect a comeback.
Well, if it's gonna happen, it's not happening this week. Eagles and Rams, who you got there?
I got the Eagles. They look really good.
See, part of me wanted to go with the Rams because I think that they played very well. Should have done my research before this and checked the update on Cooper Kupp, but I didn't. So I'm sticking with the Eagles. Now up next, Jets and Broncos. Broncos obviously comeback win last week. Jets, Zach Wilson played very well. Who do you got?
I have the Jets beating the Broncos. Zach Wilson getting his, I would say his first good-looking win.
Well, I also have the Jets beating the Broncos, and I'm not willing to say Zach Wilson's going to play good again. Hopefully he does. But I think that this Jets defense is just going to be too good, and the Jets offense is going to do just enough. Chiefs, Vikings. And this one is a lock. You agree? I think it's a lock.
Yes.
The Chiefs beating the Vikings.
Yes. Oh, yes. And you know what's funny?
What's up?
For the second set of games, I have all away teams winning. Chiefs, Jets, Eagles, Bengals.
Well, I have all of those teams winning except for the Bengals because the Bengals suck and the Cardinals are going to win.
And that's what I was going to say earlier, but I was going to wait till the podcast to say.
Okay. Well, you know what? I know this is going to be a fun one, so we're going to skip it right now. We'll come back to it. Let's go to Monday Night Football, though. We'll skip Sunday for now. Packers and Raiders. Monday Night Football. Who you got?
I got the Raiders.
I got the Packers going into Las Vegas and beating them.
Oof.
Right for you. Because you're going to lose again. After the Packers and the Falcons and the Cardinals all get the dub. And the Colts, too. You're fucking sleeping on them.
And I bet you picked the Cowboys.
Well, Sunday Night Football. Game of the week. Cowboys looked good last week. But the Niners look good for the past 4 weeks. Who do you got?
I already said it earlier.
Yeah, who do you got?
I got the Niners.
And the 49ers beating the Cowboys, huh?
Yep.
49ers, huh? Okay. Christian McCaffrey, Offensive Player of the Month. And Offensive Player of the Week. Micah Parsons was Defensive Player of the Month. Dak Prescott, Yeah. Dak Prescott, right? They just beat up on the Patriots last week.
Yeah.
And, obviously the Cardinals game happened after they lost Trayvon Diggs. Very emotional, very heartbroken. They weren't themselves. The first 2 weeks, outscoring both New York teams 70-10. Adding the Patriots game, all their wins, 108-13. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. That's
very good
absurd.
stats. Very good stats. For Sunday Night Football, though, my 14-0 prediction for this week. 49ers at home against the Cowboys. I have... Would you like to give a drum roll?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just go into it then, I guess, cold, with no drum roll. I have the Cowboys losing to the 49ers.
You see, I was waiting for that.
That's the old switcheroo again.
It was expected.
Yeah, but the old switcheroo still.
My facial expression never changed.
Yeah, that first switcheroo though, the Falcons. You thought that was going with Texans, huh?
Yeah, I thought you were.
Yeah, well, I told you I had some crazy picks out there. Falcons are going to bounce back this week after losing in London. But obviously, we have our predictions done now. 14-0 for myself, probably 7-7 for you. There's only one more thing left to do before we get out of here. And it's our own system of giving out grades, but we don't do the normal system, A's, B's, and C's and all that. No, we have our own system. We have the massive W all the way down to the major L, of course, with a normal W and a normal L in between. I'm going to let you start off here. What is your major L for this week?
My major L of the week is the Bears letting the Broncos come back.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit for us.
I mean, we touched on it earlier. I mean, it was 28-7, and literally they just fumbled, not fumble, actually, they actually did fumble in the fourth quarter, but they just fumbled it all. 3-possession lead, not even getting 3 points. It was a really terrible weekend to be a Chicago Bears fan, and I feel bad for anyone who's a Bears fan. But I don't at the same time because you guys talk shit constantly about the year you guys lost to the Eagles in the playoffs.
The old double doink.
Who's your major L?
My major L this week is Mr. Daniel Jones.
Oof. Now,
some of you may be thinking, oh, why? I know Daniel Jones didn't play good, but he was sacked 11 times. Exactly. And out of those 11 times, probably around 6 of those times, the sacks were allowed because Daniel Jones was holding on to the football for too damn long. And he wasn't making a decision. He wasn't getting out of the pocket to extend a play. He wasn't doing none of that. Daniel Jones was terrible against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, obviously, I love the Seahawks. I love Geno Smith. Geno Smith's my guy. They wrote me off, but I didn't write back, though. Just like you are in fantasy for me. Wrote me off. I didn't write back, though. But Daniel Jones did not look very good against
You lost last week in fantasy.
Yeah. Blame Debo. All right? Of course the 49ers player loses it for me.
Good.
But this week he's going to win it for me. Against you.
Mm-mm.
But you know who didn't win last week? Couldn't do anything. Not just Debo Samuel, but Daniel Jones. My major L.
Alrighty. What's your L then?
Well, I touched on it a little bit earlier, and we're coming back to it. That my L for this week is the NFL overtime rules. Now, of course, they made the change for the overtime rules in the playoffs, where each team, no matter what, gets a chance to hold possession of the football. But in the normal regular season, it's still the old stupid bum rules, where the first team, if they get the ball and they score a touchdown, then it's over. And after the Colts and Anthony Richardson played their ass off and they fought all the way back from down 23, they didn't even get a chance to possess the ball in overtime. So that's my L. Not just as a Colts fan, but as a football fan. If that happened for any other game, I would be just as upset. So, L for the NFL overtime rules.
My L is the Toy Story game.
No.
Yes.
Come on.
It was the first 5 minutes of the game, not even. They were having technical difficulties already. It just seemed like I don't know if I was just expecting more out of it, or but it just I turned it off within first 10-15 minutes and just turned on the actual broadcast because
But did you see the side by side though? With the Trevor Lawrence play with the run out of bounds, it was almost identical. Little toy Trevor Lawrence running. They even got a little skip and jump he got in there.
I think my favorite moment of the Toy Story game was the B. John Robinson juke.
I didn't see that Toy Story clip.
Yo, dude, that one was sick.
Interesting.
And my W
The dub.
is CMC.
Oh, Homer.
I mean, I could have made that my major W, but I don't want to be too biased.
No, that's not major W. It's massive W.
Massive. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I could have made it my massive W, but I don't want to be too biased because that would have been biased by me. I feel like.
Okay.
But having 4 touchdowns in a game, sick, and 3 of them rushing.
Yeah, very good game. Deserving of a W. You know who else is deserving of a W? Zach Wilson.
Okay.
I think, you know what? You look at Zach Wilson from last year, there was a press conference that he had where he was asked if he thought he let the defense down because the offense couldn't score. He said, absolutely not. This week, against the Chiefs, that fumble, he go into the press conference, he said, that loss is on me. I got to be better. I got to protect the football better. That's maturity. Zach Wilson is maturing. He's playing very well. He was very accurate in that game against the Chiefs. Zach Wilson has a W this week, and I never thought I'd see the day where Zach Wilson got a W. Now, obviously, hasn't got a W yet on the football field, but that changes this week, of course. My 14-0 predictions, I have the Jets winning. So, shout out to Zach Wilson for having a W week. Hey, next week, if he plays good again and gets an actual W, maybe that's a massive W.
Maybe. This depends. This depends on what goes on around the league.
Gotta see what happens. Hey, and shout out to Justin Fields this week. You could have had a W this week as well, but you blew it.
Yep.
So our massive W. I think there's only one logical answer here. Do you want to just say it together?
Go for it.
All right, from 3, and then countdown. All right, and we'll say it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. The Bills.
Taking out the Miami Dolphins.
The Buffalo.
The number
Bills.
1, the quote number 1 Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, the 70-point Miami Dolphins just the week before.
Yep.
Only allowed 20 by that Bills defense. And Bills scored 48 on them, 48-20.
Yep.
They
made it look easy.
We almost saw the reverse. 70-20 Dolphins Broncos. Almost saw the reverse was 48-20.
And the Dolphins looked human again.
Yeah, it was humbling for them, and for Tua even said it. He said it was a humbling experience. And now, of course, we have to deal with everyone in the media talking about superhuman Josh Allen, which he's very good though. I'm not gonna hate on Josh Allen, but I always feel like this happens with the NFL. You see, 1 week someone does really good, and they're the best. Then the next week they just do okay, and they're the worst. And it happens a lot with guys like Zach Wilson, for example.
Desmond Ridder.
Hold on a second. Zach Wilson, it might just be the New York people, and Daniel Jones too. I have him as my major L. But if they do really good, we're like, hey, they did really good. But then they do bad, not even really bad, and we're like, this guy fucking stinks. Get him off the field. That stuff.
Yeah, Dak.
I mean, yeah, Dak the same way. Basically the whole Cowboys. Like, even when they lost to the Cardinals, people were, Cowboys suck. Cowboys aren't going anywhere. It's fucking Cowboys, blah, blah, blah. Cowboys are still a good team. They're still going to have a tough game against the 49ers. But my 14-0 predictions, they're still going to lose. But yeah, I mean, that always happens with quarterbacks.
I agree. I solemnly agree. Like, every quarterback has had slander. I feel like, except for Mahomes, really.
I will say this. No, he's had his fair share, but not by a lot of people.
It's just like the fair share of his is if he doesn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I will say this though, with Daniel Jones, he's not on a rookie contract anymore, so he deserves the major L. He deserves the criticism because he's getting paid the 4th highest paid player in the NFL this year. 4th highest paid player in the NFL this year. Daniel Jones. Can you believe that?
I can.
Why?
Because he's great.
Oh, okay. Well, with that being said, it's time to obviously get off of here because you can't continue to think at 1:06 a.m. So for everyone listening out there, thank you. Subscribe to us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Sparkcast Media or Sparkcast M on one of them. I'm not sure which one. I'll have to do my research on that one. Wherever you listen to us, whether it be Apple or Spotify or Amazon or any of those lovely, podcast sites, leave us a 5-star review. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Moms love us.
All the moms.
All the moms love us. Yeah, just thank you for listening. Of course, the weekly tradition will hopefully get something good this week. Brian, send us off.
I have to pee.
Send us off.
I have to pee.
Are you going to actually say something good?
That's it.
Last week you tried to say the fucking sexy red thing.
All right. Do you like Gats? Like Gat.
All right, we'll see you next week.